I want to start this vlog off by saying that the purpose of this vlog is honestly for a lot of victims of domestic violence. I'm noticing that a lot of people are too scared to actually go through with the process and just deal with the whole situation, and a lot of people feel alone when they're victims of domestic violence. And honestly, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I just feel like this message needs to be shared. And you're not alone. Okay. So, today is going to mark my 2-year anniversary of the day that I almost died. And the way that I'm going to start off is trying to hold back my emotions, but obviously I can't, because this is probably the most emotional thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And this has hindered me for a long time, as I'm sure a lot of victims feel the same exact way. And it's just, I want you to be strong, because sharing your message is something that is hard to do. The hardest part is having people believe you, because whatever your issues are, whatever your reasons for holding it back, obviously everyone's entitled to either A, share their experience, and B, keep it by themselves, like keep it internally. But honestly, I'm tired of holding it in. So here it goes. On March 19th, 2017, my brother, my oldest brother, tried to take my life from me. And it was a really hard experience to get through. I've been through a lot of things in my life, but this is one thing where I didn't think that I can get past it. I still don't. This is, like I said, my 2nd-year anniversary. My 1-year anniversary was very, very hard. And it just gets easier along the way. So no matter what you're feeling, just try to stay strong. I'm definitely going to keep stressing that. Just stay strong. So everyone knows that I moved to Arizona for my brother. I decided to stop going to school. My brother kind of convinced me to go move over there to Arizona. His whole thing was, he doesn't have family, he has cancer. So I went over there to take care of him. It was a huge slap in the face when I went over there, and then I found out that he didn't want me to be there for him. He wanted me to actually take care of him, financially, and I don't know, be his caregiver or something. It was just a very mixed up thing. And after that, I'm starting to learn that a lot of members in my family are just fucked up people, excuse my language. So everything that happened afterwards was even more fucked up. To start it off, let's just start off with that date, I guess. So, like I said, March 19th, 2017, my brother and I weren't on good terms at the time. However, I was working at Bank of America. He got me the job there at the call center. And within that week, I was also working at Red Lobster, but within that week, I decided to stop by his house to let him know, hey, you still have a sister here, you still have someone here. And I guess we were on so bad terms to a point where he's like, get out of my face. You're not my sister. You're not family to me. And, fuck. I didn't think anything of it. Then I noticed that my brother had jealousy towards me because I moved to Arizona. I was able to adapt quicker. His friends liked me more than they liked him. His friends were always talking shit about him to me. So there's that too. And it was just a whole big mess. The kicker was when I started hanging out with his ex-girlfriend, which is what all of my family members still question. Why do you still hang out with her? Well, because she's a good person, and because I had no friends, and my brother was trying to isolate me from basically everyone that I was meeting. So I was hanging out with one of my brother's best friends, which was his neighbor at the time. I was also living in the same complex, again, to let my brother know that he still has family around, lingering around. And that day I was supposed to work at my serving job, my dinner serving job. I don't know how to do this. Okay, so I went over to my brother's friend's house. We're gonna call him Sam. So I went over to Sam's house. Everything was fine and dandy. For some reason, I had this really weird feeling inside. Like something was telling me not to go. So, you know how they say trust your instincts? Yeah, trust your instincts, definitely. Because something told me not to go, but like instead of listening, I didn't listen. I just took my time getting there. And when I got there, my brother wasn't there. I went to go use the bathroom. I come outside. 5 minutes later, my brother pulls into Sam's parking spot, which is like right in front of his apartment, which I just found really weird, the fact that he was right there conveniently. And instantly, for some reason, I knew like I was in trouble. But I never thought my brother was capable of doing something like what he did. I just thought I was in trouble. Like I thought I was gonna get yelled at, or like I thought I was gonna get told to leave or something. So I go inside. I call my brother's ex-girlfriend, who's not my best friend, and this is how I know the time it happened to. And this is like something that I would never forget. Like I would never ever forget. So I go inside, go into the bathroom. I call my brother's ex-girlfriend. I tell her, my brother's here. This isn't cool. Can you please get here? I go to leave the apartment, and it's like something that happened in a movie. Like my brother caught me at the front door, and he was like, "Hey sis, let's talk." Throws me into the apartment. Not even exaggerating. He pushes me right into the apartment. Not his apartment, by the way. Locks the door right behind me. And instantly I knew my life was in danger. Don't know why, don't know how, but instantly I knew like this is not just a bad scenario. This is going to escalate really quickly. So my brother's main thing was he kept saying that I was disrespecting him. And he was going to show me how to respect him. So basically, he started off with, "Why are you disrespecting me? Why are you disrespecting me?" And I didn't know how to react to that. So I was just like, okay, this is weird. Then he said something that it kind of triggered me. Like, okay, this is an argument waiting to happen. I didn't want to involve myself with it. So while my brother was asking me, "Why are you disrespecting me?" he starts cornering me into the wall. So this is Sam's front door. This is the other side of Sam's whole entire living room. Corners me all the way to the living room. And at that point, I was just like, okay, I don't feel comfortable. I need to leave. So I'm trying to leave at this point, and my brother just keeps pushing me back. He keeps restraining me to the wall. Like, he's pushing me back. And first reaction is, why the fuck do you keep pushing me? Like, what's going on over here? So I'm a tiny girl compared to my brother. He is 300 pounds, about 6 feet tall. And I'm 5'4", at the time 165 pounds. Now I'm 145. So I don't know what happened, but I had so much strength in me for that one moment, and I just pushed him out of my way just to get out of the way. And right when I was going to run out of that door, my brother stumbled back and instantly came and just...
If we can't find a way, please forgive us for being lost.
He came, grabbed me by the neck, slammed me into the wall again. At that point, I didn't know what to think. This is my brother strangling me, and he's about to take my life. Like I said, we were in Sam's house. So my first thought was, oh my God, this is really about to happen right now. What the fuck is happening? What is going on? Instant panic. I don't know how to take care of this. I can't breathe. How long is he choking me for? Sam knew that something wasn't right. The door was locked. He was knocking on the door, couldn't get inside. he had a patio, front patio, lived on the first floor, so he just like looked inside. Luckily the patio door was still like able to be open, so he comes right in, is watching my brother choke me at the moment, opens the door, unlocks it, walks outside. I didn't know what to think. I still, till this day, don't know what to think. I thought I was going to die. And my whole life flashed before me because the main thought was, wow, this is my brother doing this to me. So, my brother was choking me for about a good couple of minutes. I almost fainted at that point. And right before I almost fainted, throws his drink. He was drinking like some type of alcoholic beverage, and I don't even remember what his favorite one was, but he just throws his drink in my face, throws me across the room. Again, I don't know how to react to this. And he just starts, like, I fell on the floor. I was on the floor. I was trying to get up to leave and run out the door. And Sam just kept walking in and out the apartment. He wasn't helping at all. I didn't get it. It didn't add up to me. It didn't make any type of sense to me. Like, why would you let someone do that to his own sister in your apartment? Like, I get you want to mind your own business, but do you not see what's going on right now? So I try to get up, and my brother starts, again, holding me down to the floor. Just holding me down and just not letting me go anywhere. And in about literally a second, in a split second, he pulls his gun out and puts it to my head. And I did not know what to do. I still keep saying I don't know what to do at that point. Like, I don't know what anybody's reaction would be at that point. So Sam walks out, and while this is all going on, Sam decides to call the police. The one thing that Sam actually did that was helpful. My brother finished what he was doing. I guess his message was, he got his message across, you know, you're gonna learn how to respect me. I guess that was his whole point. And he just left. He left, I ran home. My apartment was literally at the end of the complex, so I ran home, locked myself in my apartment, and I freaked out. I had a nervous breakdown. I felt more alone than ever. I didn't know what to do. I locked myself in the apartment. My best friend Marie came. Sam came for some reason, and they were just like yelling at outside the door to open the door. Finally, the police came. They were knocking on the door. And this part just didn't make sense to me. You know, Sam's on the phone talking about how, like, this guy is hurting his sister, has a gun, blah, blah, blah. I opened my door to, like, 6 to 7 police officers. All men. I was just attacked by a man. My own brother, a man. And 6 to 7 police officers were right there at my door. Right as soon as I'm starting to calm down. I really try to keep my composure, but I broke. I literally broke. And then they take me to the hospital. I get checked out. I mean, I guess I was okay. I had like the typical petechiae and everything, whatever you get from strangulation. But it didn't end there. It didn't. Thinking about it, it took a huge toll on my life, where right now I regret the fact that I let it take a huge toll on my life. You know, like I said, I've been through a lot, but this is one thing where for some reason I told myself, you can get through everything, but this is something that you just can't get through. And I felt bad for my brother I remember sitting in the hospital and like every police officer that you can name, a detective, freaking like anybody was coming up to me and they're like, "Where's your brother? Where's the gun?" And my first reaction was he okay? Like I'm in the hospital. My brother just hurt me, and I'm asking if he's okay. I don't know if any other victim has felt something like this before. Anything like rape, anything like. This is the worst feeling ever, and the toll that it took on me. Like, I had 2 jobs. I had a $5,000 a month income. Like, I was doing amazing. And this right there stopped my life to a point where I didn't want to talk to people anymore. I was scared. I couldn't trust my own brother, my own blood. I couldn't trust anyone, human beings, like anyone. And I'm the type of person where people can see that I'm a popular person all around. Like, people, they love my energy. They gravitate towards me. But this is just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I was ashamed to share it. I was scared of being judged to share my experience. I didn't want anybody to know, and of course I developed PTSD after this, but I didn't want anybody to know, and I wanted to pretend like it never happened. So the next day, I go to work, I go to Bank of America, and it was probably the worst decision ever because my brother worked there. So that week before he did it, he was like hovering over me while I was in training. I was still finishing training. He was hovering over me and just asserting his presence. And this was just a weird thing. Like, I didn't think anything of it until right now. Just to let me know that he's there. And afterwards, when I went to work the next day, I was scared that he would pop up. This is how I know I wouldn't be able to get over it. When I was pouring myself coffee, and my coworker, who's the sweetest person alive, she is just the sweetest, a mutual friend of mine and my brother's as well. She just came up from me she came up from behind. She tried to give me a hug, and instantly I had an anxiety attack or a panic attack. I don't even know what you consider it right now, but instantly I broke down. I started crying. I threw myself on the wall, just like how my brother just like pushed me up on the wall. So I guess like being cornered made me feel comfortable at the moment, and I couldn't do it. Then I worked at a call center, so I'm taking phone calls during training, and people are just yelling at me on the phone, and again another anxiety attack, and again and again and again and again and again. And it got to a point where I kind of wanted to lock myself up in a room or a mental health institute or just something. And I got really suicidal after that, like really, really dark. Because honestly, I don't know why he didn't just finish the job. And I just think like that's the most torturous thing that any human being can do. Attempt to do something and not even completely finish it and just walk away and make a statement. Afterwards, here's the fun part. I thought I forgot about the whole situation. I took a month off from work. I was able to cope, be by myself, slowly start bringing myself back into like civilization. And I get back to work, and all my coworkers just, my second server job, I get back to work and all my coworkers are just like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Where have you been? And I didn't want to share it. So my first thought was, mind your fucking business. Mind your business. I've just not been here. Until I learned that keeping it inside wasn't good for me. Like I said, I was beating myself up. I kept putting myself in dangerous situations where I didn't realize now that I could have traumatized myself a lot more than I'm already traumatized. I was going to places where it was unsafe, clearly unsafe. I was trying to spike up my adrenaline because I felt like I was dead on the inside, because I felt like I should have been dead. And when I forgot about everything, when I was finally working, I started self-medicating because I couldn't trust a therapist, because I was in an environment that I didn't trust anybody, I didn't know anybody, and like I said, the one person that I thought I could trust was the one person that tried to take my life. I didn't know who to trust. And afterwards, my whole mental state, like I became so disoriented, I couldn't even trust my own instincts. I was making friends with people who were taking advantage of me, literally. And I didn't know who to go to, who to trust, where to be at. And I ended up staying in Arizona for 2 years, which is the funny part. The whole first year was just hard. And my family members, when they found out about it, their first response was, what did you do? What did you do to make your brother do that to you? The second response was, my brother was obviously incarcerated for a couple of months, so my brother was incarcerated for a couple of months. And at one point in time, a victim's advocate called me, and she just explained to me what was going on. And then that's when my anxiety attacks started happening again, because I didn't feel like I was safe anymore. I forgot about it, and then my victim's advocate called me to remind me about it, and every single time I would forget about it, my victim's advocate would just call me on an update on my brother. He was only incarcerated for 6 months. He was procrastinating the whole entire trial for a long, long time. Literally, it made it up to a year anniversary, and then he finally pleaded non-guilty or guilty, one of those two. My brother only got 2 months probation, from what I was told, despite the letters that I was writing to the victim's advocate, despite the fact that I told him that my brother was reaching out to my family members and telling them that it was no big deal. I think that's the part that did it for me the most too. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that you try to take your own sister's life. That's the shit that had me. That is the stuff that had me. Well, anyways, here's me 2 years later, and now I feel confident and strong enough to share my story. And honestly, my message is to any victim in any type of situation, get help immediately. Make sure that you have your support system, and make sure that you don't have people making you feel guilty for being a victim, because it's not your fault. It isn't. And stay strong. Like, it was really hard. It was a really hard process to continue going to court and continue listening to a victim's advocate and continue getting updates on my brother, and my family members constantly asking me to drop the charges because it's not a big deal. And it was very hard. And I'm sure that a lot of people have probably went through the same exact thing, and a lot of people probably dropped their charges because they didn't want to deal with it anymore. But my main thought was, what if he does it to someone else? You know, it's not just me, anybody else. Like, what if he did it to someone before, and what if he could do it again? Like, my brother's concern was his life is getting taken away from him. He wouldn't be able to work a bank job anymore. He wouldn't be able to do a whole bunch of things. But my thing was, were you thinking this right before you put your hands on me? Was this your first thought before you chose to take my life? And like I said, here's me 2 years later. I'm fighting harder than ever, and are you okay? Yeah. So there's that. And stay strong, guys.
Feel I'm dying inside. I'd rather die than live another day of this life. That's what she cried. That's what she told me with tears in her eyes.